More developments from across the world. Now, the US and the UK have carried out additional strikes against Houthi targets in Yemen. This is the 8th round of attacks by the US military on the Houthis' infrastructure in just over 10 days. Now, for the very first time, the US has also struck an underground storage facilities used by the Houthis, who are terrorists. Meanwhile, the storage site was assessed to have more advanced conventional weaponry, including missiles and one-way attack drones. Of course, latest target by United States as well as the United Kingdom against Houthi targets. They have, of course, have come in retaliation after the Houthis have targeted US ships in the Red Sea as well as the Gulf of Aden. Remember, viewers, the Houthis are in fact targeting cargo ships as well in the region. Meanwhile, the US and the UK have carried out additional strikes. Earlier, of course, they had struck Houthi targets, due to which Iran had come out and, of course, slammed the US and the UK. Meanwhile, this is the 8th round of strikes that have taken place. There have been numerous ships in the Middle East that have been, in fact, targeted by the Houthis, which are a terrorist group. Meanwhile, joining us on the broadcast is Mr. Ravinder Sachdev, International Affairs expert. Good afternoon, sir. Thank you for joining us on NewsX. Yet another round of action, targeted strikes in particular by the US and the UK against the Houthis in Yemen. This is the 8th round of strikes that have taken place. Where do you see the situation panning out in the next couple of days or weeks?
Thank you so much. I think the way the situation will pan out in the coming days and weeks will probably be the same as it has been for the past 10-15 days. That is, the Houthis will continue, their attacks, and the American forces with the either alone will do some, smaller number of attacks and then do another big one. For example, the one yesterday was a large joint attack. I think they had around 30 targets, right? And this started on January 10th or 11th, the first day, when they had around 70 targets jointly. And in between, during the week, also the Americans were striking. So what we can probably see in the coming days or a few weeks at least is that a similar pattern will continue. Americans will strike some bases of the Houthis, and Houthis will try and take post shots. The one thing which will happen apparently in about a couple of weeks' time, 2 weeks' time, is that, the European Union is now thinking of sending a naval force also. Pretty interesting, not NATO, but the European Union. And what they're saying is that they will put together a force of the EU navies, some countries, which will act only in defense to protect from the Houthi attacks. So this European Union naval mission will not attack the Houthi bases, but will be in the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden and all to prevent or to counter the missiles and drones which Houthis are lobbing.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.